On Tuesday, Portlanders voted to overhaul the city's system of government. Charter Reform Measure 26228 passed convincingly, showing that Portlanders are ready for a change to a system that most feel is not working now. The basics: a total of 12 city commissioners will be elected from 4 districts in the city. They'll be chosen by ranked choice voting. A city administrator or a city manager will be hired by the mayor to handle bureaus, as opposed to city commissioners handling the bureaus the way it is now. So now that we voted on it, what happens now, and when will this new system start being used? Here to answer those questions is Michael Jordan, the city's chief administrative officer. Thanks for joining us on Eye on Northwest Politics.
My pleasure.
Well, despite opposition, including from City Commissioner Mingus Mapps, charter reform passed. So what does that tell you about the state of Portland city government and how voters see it?
Well, I think voters made a clear statement that they're ready for a different way to both govern, elect their elected officials, and I think they made a statement about the way the city delivers service. And so for the next 2 years, we'll be looking at, first of all, implementing the changes that have to occur between now and November of 2024, when the first election under the new charter will take place. But we're also going to be looking at the structure of city government and how can we align our efforts so we can deliver better for Portlanders.
So the new system should be in effect by the November election of 2024, correct?
Correct, but there are a number of deadlines that have to be met before that, so that that form of election and that number of councilors that will be brought onto the city council can actually get elected.
All right, so we're starting that process already. So what's happening now on that front, and what are the deadlines that you're talking about?
Yeah, we are currently actually starting Wednesday, started to recruit for a districting commission that must draw for districts across the city. There are certain constitutional requirements for those districts, and there'll be a group of 13 Portlanders who will be working with assistance to draw those districts. Their work must be done by September of 2023. We also will be bringing together just an advisory committee made up of 15 folks from the city to help us with the overall implementation. And then the charter also requires that we bring together 5 human resources professionals that are not associated with the Portland city government to set the salaries for all of the electeds, including all 12 councilors, including the mayor and the city auditor.
We'll talk a little bit about that in just a moment here, but let's get back to the 4 geographic districts. What's the criteria for those districts? How will they be chosen?
Well, first of all, they have to be equal in population. There are requirements about not dividing up certain natural neighborhoods or certain populations of folks who have an affinity for each other. You're not allowed to draw them in such a way that they disadvantage any particular group. You're not required, but you should be looking at using natural boundaries like rivers, large transportation boundaries that kind of act as boundaries between neighborhoods. So there's a whole number of criteria that are used, and ultimately they have to meet those criteria to be able to be legal.
Well, these commissioners will be chosen by ranked choice voting. How does that work, and will it create any issues for Multnomah County elections?
Yeah, we will be working with the elections office in Multnomah County to implement ranked choice voting. You may note that Multnomah County voters also adopted a charter amendment for the county to implement ranked choice voting. So we'll be working closely with the county to be able to implement. We have our own election code in our ordinances, and so we'll be working with the current city council to amend our code so that it can implement ranked choice voting. And then we'll be working obviously closely with Multnomah County. Most folks may not realize that Portland actually exists in all 3 of the metropolitan counties. So Multnomah County will also be entering into agreements with Washington and Clackamas County to administer the election in Portland, but also in all three counties.
In summary, how does ranked choice voting work? Just give us a brief explanation of how it works.
Yeah, well, basically, it is also known as proportional ranked choice voting. So if there is just one seat to be had, so let's say the mayor's seat who runs citywide, then you take the number of seats plus one and you divide 100% by it. So in the mayor's seat case, you need 50% to be able to get the seat. In the districts, there will be 3 seats up in each election. And so you take 3 seats, add 1, and that's 4. So the threshold for winning a seat in the districts is getting 25%. So what happens is voters get to rank all of the folks who are on the ballot. They're not required to rank them, but they can rank them. So if there were 10 people on the ballot in District X, they could rank them 1 through 10 if they wished. Then what happens when ballots are counted is obviously everybody gets their first choice counted. And then after that round, if there are not a number of folks who've met the threshold, anybody who has met the threshold gets a seat, and the rest of their votes, second, third, fourth, on every ballot, are allocated to the rest of the candidates. Also, in each round, the person who's running who got the least number of votes is eliminated. And so you go through those rounds until you've got 3 folks who have met the threshold.
Well, currently, individual city commissioners are in charge of bureaus. That will change with the new city manager setup. So how will that change the role of city council?
Sure, and you're right. Currently, commissioners not only act as legislators, but they also act as administrators over assigned bureaus. In the future, the council will be the legislative branch of city government, and they will not be administering the day-to-day operations of the government. That will be the mayor's responsibility, and the mayor is required to hire a professional city administrator to basically run the day-to-day. All of the employees at the city, except for the chief of police and the city attorney, will report to the city administrator through their management. The city administrator is appointed by the mayor, but must be confirmed by the council. But the city administrator can be removed by the mayor unilaterally, or can be removed by a supermajority of the council of 9 votes on the council.
Now, what will this cost, and who's going to pay for it?
Yeah, that's a good question. We estimate, obviously we don't know, we've never done this before, but we estimate that the initial startup costs will be somewhere between $12 and $15 million over 3 years. This fiscal year 23-24, and fiscal year 24-25. Those are the first time, kind of one-time startup costs. The estimate for ongoing costs is more problematic. It's more challenging because so many decisions have to be made in the next 2 years that will either drive that cost up or keep it down. For instance, we must go out and find offices for each of the 12 councilors in district. So we have to go lease or own office space in the 4 districts for the 12 councilors. They also need to be staffed. There are certain decisions we can make about that staffing. It could be that they have larger staffs, or that they share staff and have smaller staffs. And so many different decisions have to be made in the next 2 years. So the estimated cost is somewhere between just under $1 million a year and up to almost $9 million a year. So a wide range, depending on all of those decisions that have to be made in the next 2 years.
Yes, including what the commissioner's salaries will be. The commissioners make 6 figures right now.
Those salaries again will be set by an outside commission. The first time it will be appointed by the mayor. That's 5 HR professionals who do not work for the city. And then after that, it will be the city administrator that appoints that commission every 2 years subsequent to this first commission.
All right, a lot of changes, a lot to do before
Yeah,
November of 2024. Thank you, Michael Jordan, the city's chief administrator, for joining me on Eye on Northwest Politics.
it's my pleasure, Ken. Thanks.